Welcome to an Inventor Basic Training tutorial about the navigation bar, which is not showing at the moment. But I clicked on the white and there it is. Okay, if it ever goes away by accident, first off I'll show you how to get that back. I'm going to close it. Click on that X. You can say, hey, there's something wrong with my view, what I'm looking at. So go to the View tab, and you're the user. This is your user interface. This is how you interface with the program. And there's a user interface, one of the windows. So right here you can turn on your Viewcube, your nav bar, the browser. That's very important. And so the nav bar, let's turn that back on. Okay, so this video is about your nav bar and what are these features in here. I'm going to skip the first one for right now. Right here, the hand is the pan tool. If you click on it, then if I click and hold, the pan tool is being used, is activated. So I'm holding my left click button down, and as I move my mouse, I can pan around. What's actually happening is that I'm changing where I'm looking in space. If you think of the X, Y, and Z axes and where the origin might be, this is equivalent to me moving my body or my eyeball, not moving the object. While the object looks like it's moving, the object is still in the same relative position as the origin or the axis. I'm just kind of moving where I'm standing to view the object. Okay, that's the pan tool. Next up you have the zoom tool. If I click on that, you notice I have arrows. If I click and hold with my mouse, then my mouse, if I move it up or down, I will zoom in and out. Okay, alternates to these two tools. I'm going to right click and say OK to turn that off and go back to my regular cursor. But the mouse way to use the pan is to hold down the scrolling wheel. If you hold down the scrolling wheel, you can pan. Okay, that's the same way. So you can use the hand, you can toggle to it, but then you have to turn it off. Right click and say OK. To zoom in, I can use my mouse wheel. I can scroll it up or down to zoom in and out. You may notice that it zooms in or out based on where the cursor is. So with my cursor out to the right, as I zoom in, I'm zooming in on this space over here. That's why it appears like it went to the left. If I move my mouse on the object in the middle and I zoom in, notice that I'm zooming in on the part. And maybe I want to zoom in on a corner here. Okay, so notice that I'm tracking towards where my cursor is. Maybe I wanted to go over on that corner. Okay, so you can control if I'm over here, I'm zooming in on this space, which is going to make that appear like it's going to the right. Okay, so mouse equivalents. Hold the wheel, scroll the wheel. All right, next one is orbit. That brings this tool up. Now this, within orbiting, there are different icons that appear based on where your mouse is. Notice anywhere inside the circle, I get one icon. Okay, and so to do that, you click and hold and then you move your mouse, and that's going to orbit, kind of a free rotate based on the direction you're moving your mouse. If I go outside of the circle, I get this circle. It's a flat orthographic, arrow, and basically I can do a rotation like the hands of a clock. Okay. Then if I go near these tails, which are at, kind of at the top and the bottom or the sides, I get a different cursor. And this is going to rotate, like flip it around horizontally, and this one's going to go vertically. So I can rotate vertically, I can rotate horizontally. Okay, or inside I can kind of free rotate, or I maybe have what I want, but I just want to change the orientation, kind of spin it around, but keep the same face pointing me. So, okay, so you can play around with the orbit tool. To be honest, I do not use the orbit tool much. Okay, I use the Viewcube a lot, and I think it's fast. You have corners that you can choose to get isometrics. You have edges that you can choose to look at two faces. You can choose faces themselves, and I have found that this is really fast. In addition to the Viewcube, if I'm looking at this orthographic, these little arrows will rotate in 90-degree increments and rotate the Viewcube. These will rotate, keeping the same face towards you, rotate 90 degrees. Okay, but I find that the Viewcube itself is just if you force yourself to use it, you can usually get the view you want or close to it pretty fast and accurately. The last tool is the Look At tool, and this tool allows you to select a face, and it will then rotate the object so that that face is orthographic to you. Okay. So the Look At tool, I can choose a face, and it's going to snap to an orthographic view. That is the tool that you need to use when you need to recalibrate your Viewcube. When your Viewcube gets messed up, look at the other tool, or I'm sorry, the other video about how to recalibrate your Viewcube. If this is not giving you the views you want, I'll give you a hint, you're going to use the Look At tool. Okay, you do have this as well you can play around with. If I click on it and bring it over, it kind of is a tool that follows my mouse around. And some of these are just redundant from what's already here. You know, the pan, basically you click and hold the button you want and then just start moving and it pans. So if I click and hold, once my mouse is on zoom, click and hold and then move my mouse and it's zooming. Okay, it's on orbit, click and hold on the orbit button and then move your mouse and you can see it's orbiting. Okay. Click and hold on rewind and move your mouse left or right and you can rewind. Maybe you kind of messed up an orientation, you want to get right back to where you had it. Okay, and the same thing, you have some other buttons here. Okay, walk. You can see there's a little cursor here. You can kind of imagine walking up on the shape, walking away from it, walking to the right, walking to the left. Center, you can move where the pivot point is to recenter. The Look tool, just kind of look around, etc. So, okay, so you can play around with those. I'm going to hit the little X to close that. I don't use that often. Maybe you'll find reasons why it's helpful to you, but I would make sure you know these. Pan, also holding down the wheel on your mouse. Zooming in or out, scrolling the wheel on your zoomer mouse. Orbiting, know that you can also use the Viewcube. And the Look At tool. Choose a face and have it snap orthographically to it.